what happens and how it happens when women shine by raising boys who respect women, and then they shine. Girlies, give us your thank you. Would you please put your hands together as we invite the speakers for this very interesting conversation. They're going to be opening their hearts and spirits, so listen in. Please put your hands together as we invite on stage Varsha Aswani. She's in Delhi. Soma Basu. Soma, are you with us? I know Debby is. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Debby Montgomery Johnson, coming from the US of A, a victim advocate and the founder of the Women Behind the Smile. It's an honor. And I promise you this, I had the privilege of being in a car with Debby for 2,000 hours yesterday. We went to Rameshwaram, and there are some lessons you're never going to forget in her story. So we look forward to that. Debby, I think. Oh, okay, so I'll call out the names again. Okay. But let's celebrate this. Let's celebrate you through your work. I think you need this, yeah? What do you do?
Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, woohoo! Now, I want to thank Mamta and my friends over here for having us here, welcoming all of us here from America, Team America. But I also want to thank my friends back in the United States at Women's Prosperity Network, and if they were here right now, they would be saying, yes, yes, yes. So can you all say yes, yes, yes to my friends in the States? Ready? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. So my topic today is about shining as we raise boys. Now, I'm a mother of 3 sons. I'm a grandmother of 2. And I'm a sister of 3 brothers. So I've been around a lot of men in my life. And I love them to death. Now, my boys, I had to write this down because they had to remember this when they were young, but I couldn't. They grew up as Boy Scouts. And there are 12 principles or 12 laws of being a Boy Scout. And they are trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, clean, reverent. And I taught my boys those 12 principles. I taught them well, or I thought I did. I tried very hard. So, their dad did too. But on April 8th, 2010, I was attending a meeting. I was a treasurer at a school district, and I was at a meeting. And I turned my phone off like we all were asked to do. About a half an hour into the meeting, I looked down at my phone, and there were 12 messages for me. I never get messages when I'm at a meeting. So I went out outside, and I picked up the first one from my 23-year-old son. And the message said, "Mom, Dad just died. I'm coming home to take care of everything." Now, I taught my son those 12 principles, and I taught him to be a very respectful, responsible young man. But I did not want him to be the man of the house at age 23. But he was going to fly home to do that, and I was thinking, you can't do that, Chris. You can't do that. I said, Dad wasn't sick, but he left that night, and the next morning, he woke up and looked at the man beside him and said, "Call 911, I'm having a heart attack." And he was dead in a half an hour. Now, I didn't expect that. I never saw him again after that. I know he's in a good place. But I was left a widow, and I hate that word. For any of you that have had that experience, I hate that word, but it's what we're called. I was a single mom of 4 at that time. My kids were 23 to 15, 3 boys and a girl. And I had to run my husband's company. He runs a nutraceutical business. I had no idea how to run that business. But it paid the bills, and I had to figure it out. So all I could do was rely on my boys from afar. They're military officers, so they were gone. I could rely on my daughter, my mother and father, and all those people that I had been around all my life. I could look to the young men that I had taught as a teacher. I could look to the young men that I had taught as a leader in Scouts. But I had to rely on myself. And about 6 months into it, my girlfriends are all like, you need a life. You have to do something other than work. And if any of you have lost a spouse or have divorced or something, the hardest time for me was between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep by myself in a big bed. Nothing moved in the house. And I was a little bit lonely. I was a little bit angry. I was very sad. And when my friends said, you have to get a life, I'm like, what does that mean? I have a life. And they said, you need to start dating again. Well, I don't know about you, but when I was dating at 16, I didn't look pretty enough. I didn't feel happy enough. I wasn't skinny enough. And I really didn't want to start dating at 52. I was 52. And so they said, go get to online dating. Have any of you done online dating? Have you heard of online dating? In the States, it's huge. It's huge everywhere. Well, I did that. I put my foot forward and I tested the water, and I was looking for a really good man, one that was trained well by his mother. Okay? One that was kind, considerate, responsible, financially responsible. I wanted someone that could take care of me. But I was looking for the men out there between 50 and 65, and I couldn't find any really good ones until I found a gentleman from England, a widower, a father of a very nice young boy, a friend to his sister, and someone that I could just relate to. He was an international businessman, and I have to tell you, it's funny, I got my very first visa to India in 2012 because Eric, my love, was going to come here and meet me here, and we were going to do some financial things here. So when I came through customs the other day, they said, you've been here before. I was like, no, I haven't come. I did get a visa, but I never came, and let me explain why. In the 2 years that Eric and I dated online, he was in India, he was in Malaysia, he was in Hong Kong, he was an international businessman moving hardwood trees from one country to the next, and I was supporting him emotionally, everything that I could, but physically, from afar. He was going to finish his business and come home to me. 2 years into it, on September 10th, 2012, Eric came online. We were texting, or not texting, we were mostly on Yahoo chat. He came online and said, how do you feel about forgiveness? I put on my spiritual hat and all those discussions we'd had over the years. I told him about how I felt about forgiveness. And for hours we talked about forgiveness. And then I thought, what did I do? And I don't know why I would think that, but I thought, what did I do that we would have to talk about forgiveness? And he said, Deb, I need to know that you can forgive me. And I started to get a little bit scared. I said, Eric, what's going wrong? What's going on? Are you sick? What's happening? And he said, I have a confession to make. And I said, I've heard that once before in my life. I really don't want to hear that again. Are you okay? And he said, I'm really sorry. This is going to hurt you, but I have to confess that the last 2 years have been a scam. A scam of emotions, a scam of finances, a scam of life. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I said, you're lying. And he said, no. And then I said, you need to prove to me that this has been a scam. So he came online live for the first time in 2 years. Now, I've got to tell you this is silly. I never met him in person, but honestly, after being married for 26 years, I wasn't ready for a physical relationship. I was ready for a companion, a confidant, a business partner, or something. And I just said, you're going to come online now after I've asked you for 2 years? And he said, yes. So I was a little bit technologically challenged with Yahoo Chat at that point. He said, there's a camera on Yahoo Chat, and I'm going to come on live. So on my screensaver on my computer, I saw this handsome British man, my Eric. And on the little camera that popped up, I'm looking at a brown-haired, brown-eyed, brown-skinned young man with a huge smile on his face. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what has happened here? And that young man did not turn out to be Eric from England. It turned out to be Joseph from Nigeria. And for 2 years, Joseph had been communicating with me as if he were my respectful, responsible, loving partner-to-be, and I'd given him support financially for his business over those 2 years to the sum of, hold your breath, $1,080,762. $1,080,762. I did not have that money. I had put retirement money away for my boys and my daughter, and for me, I put education money away. I had gold and silver that I had investments in. I had trees in Costa Rica, and I sold all that stuff to support my Eric. And when he told me it was all a scam, here I was, a banker, an Air Force intelligence officer, a paralegal. I had had such good training. I should never have been scammed. But the point here is that I was. And if he can scam me, then they can scam anybody. No matter how intelligent, well-trained we are, no matter how much we teach our boys to be respectful. I'm wondering what kind of a mother might have raised a boy like that, but I know that my sons have made choices of their own, and I'm not responsible for my sons' choices once I've taught them well. Did his mother teach him well? I sure hope so. Because what happened when he confessed, because scammers don't confess, is that he must have had a little bit of heart, a little bit of conscience for a moment, that he could come and tell me what was going on, because he wanted my forgiveness. He wanted to continue it too, and I said, are you out of your mind? He didn't want any money. He knew I didn't have any money anymore, but he had fallen in love with me. Or that might have been the scam too. But why would he have confessed? Why would he have shown himself to me? Somebody must have taught him something about being respectful to a woman. Now, I know you're the dead silence in here. I can feel it. But what I want you to know here is that those 12 principles that I taught my boys, we need to be teaching our young men. And we need to be teaching our young women, because not only are the 50-year-olds and up being scammed, the women, but our young girls are being scammed. I wish the girls that were here earlier would be here, because it's those 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds that think that they can put their pictures out on their telephones and that they can tell everybody where they're going to be. At 5 o'clock, I'm playing lacrosse at some high school. Those are the kids that are going to get picked up, because the traffickers, those that are trying to prey on us, know where we are, and they know our vulnerabilities. You women who have lost a husband either through death or through divorce, you're vulnerable. You don't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't feel it. I was self-sufficient. My father had taught me, as he had taught his sons, to be self-reliant, to do those things that I could do, to be strong. But in my time of need, after Lou died, I never grieved, because I was so busy. I was so busy working. I was so busy taking care of the kids and the grandkids. I was so busy doing everybody else's stuff that I didn't have time for me. And when Eric showed me time, when he listened to me, that's all I needed to heal my heart. Because my heart ruled my head in spite of my business acumen, in spite of all those things that I knew better. My heart ruled my head, and the scammers are well trained to take you through that adventure, to fall in love with them very quickly, to do whatever they want you to do very quickly. And you will push away your family. I pushed away my sons, who I love dearly, because they kept saying, Mom, don't. And I was like a 2-year-old. When you tell me don't, I'm like, I'm the adult here, leave me alone. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I stopped talking to my boys. And when this all fell apart, the hardest thing for me to do was to explain to my sons what had happened. And they were really angry. And I allowed them to come back at me and to just be angry with me and to vent. And the reason I did that is because I realized that my boys felt like they hadn't protected me. I had taught them all along to be those good gentlemen, those good, kind men, to watch out. And they wanted to protect their mother. And they felt like they couldn't. And I said, boys, I'll be okay. I think they thought I was going to have to come live with them, which would be great over here, but over in the States, that's not something that we do. And I said, I'll be fine, I'll recover, but let me talk about this now, because they were embarrassed for me. You know, they thought, Mom, that was really stupid what you did, and I'm sure to the world it looked like it, but it's happening to millions and millions of women around the world every day, and there's not much we can do about it if we don't speak up. and stand up. And that's what I want you to teach your kids, is to stand up for what's right. Because I never know if there's another woman in here that might be going through the same thing that I went through. And she's not going to tell you. She's not going to tell you. And if she gets scammed, she's going to hide. She's not going to tell you what's happening. But I want that woman to know that there are a lot of us out there. The Widows Club here, the Scam Victims Club here, but we're not victims. We're survivors. And we're going to take what good we can out of that bad situation, and we're going to turn it around, and we're going to educate, and we're going to let people know what's going on so that we can prevent it. And if we can't prevent it, because it's a worldwide thing, we can at least be there to support the women that have gone through it, that they know that there's someone else around that knows what they're feeling. Someone can contact me and say, Deb, I'm so thankful that you went on that television show or that radio show, because I need to talk to you now. And I feel her pain. I feel it. But you know what? The happy story for me is that I did remarry. Months after the scam was revealed, I opened my heart up again. And a few years later, I got remarried to the most wonderful man who was taught well by his mother to be respectful of women. And I wish he was here, but he didn't want to fly across the pond. But I'm thankful for men like my CJ. I'm thankful for men like my boys who were taught well as children to be kind. And I pray that the men that are out there to hurt us would have some sort of change of heart, that they might have listened to something their mother taught them, because we can't have them hurting women around the world. But women, we need to stand up and speak up for ourselves. I actually wrote a book called The Woman Behind the Smile, and I've started a movement called The Woman Behind the Smile. We all put up the smile to hide our hurt. We all do it. Now's the time to drop that smile. Don't drop the smile. Drop the mask, put on the smile, and be there for the sister sitting beside you, because we need to do that. We each have a special, special part in our life that we can share with the woman sitting beside us, or her daughter, or her granddaughter, because we are women of experience. We call it WOW, women of wisdom. We are women of wisdom for all the things we've gone through, the hurts, the heartaches, all of those experiences we've had are for our good if we will look at them as good. Don't be the victim, be the victor. Don't be angry, be awesome. I'm here to say thank you for letting me bring this to the world through here, the Women Economic Forum in India. Thank you, ladies. I can see it in your faces. You know somebody out there that needs to hear this story. And I want you to pass it on. This is one thing that I want you to share, and share it big. Because my friends from Australia, it's happening in Australia in a huge way. It's happening in Malaysia in a huge way. It's happening in India in a huge way. I work with a gentleman from Mumbai, and when Raj heard my story years ago, he goes, Deb, speak up. It's happening here, and the women aren't talking. So I want you women to know, I love you. My heart feels you, but I need for you to speak up and stand up and be those women to shine to the world, and shine when you're raising your sons, no matter how tired you are, and when you just want to put them to bed, give them a hug and thank them for being honorable young men, because they will be the honorable men of the future, and that's who I want my daughter to marry and my granddaughter to marry and be there with. And I just want to thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. Thank you so much. I think you turned the bell off. No, you didn't. It didn't ring. Thank you.
But thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you for you. Yesterday, she handed me her book, the one she's authored, and she said to me, she said, read it and share it with your friends. Like she said, that life has prepared us well. Everyone in this room, we're well prepared. But when things like this happen, they happen, they just do. So thank you for sharing that absolutely revelation of a lesson with us, for traveling all the way to bring that story home. Thank you. Thank you. know this lovely lady. She's our timekeeper. Please don't hate her. She's going to share a few words about her journey.
Yes. No, about the West's journey.
About West's journey. That's your journey too.
Looks like.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. When Mamta told me that she's going to do the WEF, I told her, are you crazy? Are you crazy? We are just such a young organization. We've been in play only for the past 3 or 4 months. We've only launched very few chapters. And who do you think is going to do the work for WEF? And this is how I spoke to her. And fortunately, Mamta didn't listen to me. She said, let's do it. And even today, even as I stand in front of this lovely crowd, I can't believe it, that it's all happened. And I think it's Mamta's story, and it's Mamta's vision and dream and work, and I haven't seen anyone work like this. And I should say, even though I was skeptical, I came back into the fold only because I saw Mamta working so hard, and I didn't know why I should be staying out when she is working so hard to make this WEF happen. So I joined hands with her, and of course, I think any conference anywhere has these same issues, and I think we faced the same issues. There's no use in making a big deal about all those. But I think I should take this opportunity to thank Dr. Arora. This conference is like a pyramid, and the system which they have at the Secretariat was the base on which this pyramid could be built. If we have reached this pinnacle, it is because Dr. Arora has supported us. Maybe she thought these girls are so naive and it's better I step in and keep an eye on them. But we've had tremendous support. All the crowd, all this you see, it has been with her guiding hand, with her presence. I'm sure Mamta has made maybe 1,000 calls, Mamta, to Arora. So that's how. And of course, Mamta's effort, I have already told you, the Chennai team, they actually came to Madurai for a briefing. We are very thankful to them because they showed us it could be done. They told us you can do it. There are problems, but they told us you can do it. And I take this opportunity to really thank them. And Megu has been one of the important levels of that pyramid because she helped us, and she helped us without any hesitation. No egos and no demand was too much. She did such a wonderful job. She did such a wonderful job, so graciously. Thank you so much. And of course, our team is not just young in terms of how old All Ladies League is in Madurai. It is a young team by age. We have youngsters. We have youngsters who are so enthusiastic, but they have so many commitments in the family. They have young children at home. They were not able to come post for the evening sessions, but still, whatever means they could. There was this small team which really helped us, and I should also thank their families. Mamta's family has gone all out. And not just this, there are very many, as Mamta was telling about Shilpa's family, young children. And even these girls, they stood by us, and the pyramid was built step by step. And today, the event you see is a summation of the goodwill, hard work of this entire cascade of thing which has come, right, starting from Dr. Arora. It has just filtered down to all of us here. Someone was telling me, how come you haven't made All Ladies League's presence felt in Madurai all this while? And I think through this Women Economic Forum, looking at this crowd here, I think at last All Ladies League Madurai chapter has made its presence felt. Thank you.
As you would have noticed, we are running early. On time for us is running early. That's how we roll. Inviting Dr. Harbeen Arora to acknowledge the body of work and the lessons that this lady embodies, welcoming to accept this honor, Debby Johnson,